that little video I made in July talking about 10 Digimon we'll almost certainly never see again did really well. It's about to hit 100,000 views as of time of recording. Incredible response, thank you so much. Which got me thinking about other Digimon or types of Digimon that we're also probably never going to see again. In fact, some have only had one appearance and have been lost to time. And typically those types of Digimon are variants. Not your Violet Elecmon or Mikemon of the world, which get to have a ton of outings in things like the card game, but one-offs, weirdos, and Digimon variants that don't even get their own name. And on today's video, I'm going to be talking about 10 examples, small groupings, or just individual Digimon variants, recolors, that you'll also never see again. Oh, and hey, very quickly, this video is sponsored by Whatnot. Make sure you stick around to the end of the video to find out how you can buy my personal Digimon collection and enter into huge Digimon giveaways. What is up, digital companions? My name is Karn EX and welcome back to another video about the sad reality of Digimon we'll never see again. Got a lot of comments on the last video. A lot of them were talking about Digimon that we definitely have seen since. Shout out to the person who said we'll never see Mon again during the card game and the Vital Bracelet, but that's okay, you didn't know, it's fine. Today I'm talking though about Digimon variants. It's really interesting to me what is designated as its own Digimon and what is designated as a recolor or same version of an existing Digimon. It's interesting to me that Madoki Betamon, Violet Elecmon, Raido Tamamon, and Muchomon are all considered to be Digimon variants with their own reference book listing or should be contenders for their own reference book listing. And then there are Digimon on this list that aren't, that are considered the same as their base Digimon, even though they have a specific coloration and had their own unique outing. Which brings me to my first two picks. White Alphamon and Black Magnamon. These are incredible. Variant Digimon found at the Battle Park in Digimon Eirias, but apparently not deemed to be their own Digimon, and instead are more like a palette swap that you might see in a fighting game. In fact, they didn't make this list, but in Digimon Battle Spirit 2, there were recolored versions of the Digimon Frontier Spirits. However, this feels to me a step up. White Alphamon feeling like an homage to Omnimon specifically, especially with that red cape, and Black Magnamon being to me what should have been, or possibly could be, an answer to what the non-Armor Digivolve version of Magnamon could be. Thinking back to Rapidmon Gold and regular Rapidmon being the same Digimon, one's just a Golden Armor Digimon, Black Magnamon to me could very easily be what a non-armor Magnamon is supposed to be, an X-Vmon evolution. But instead, both of these are just designated as recolors. And this is actually a recurring thing in Eirias. We're going to talk about a couple more later that I really want to see made into their own Digimon. Black Magnamon got its own sprite, as well as of course a 3D model. And while I've always been a bit of a proponent for a blue armor or a white armor Magnamon, it looks so clean and at the very least could be a dark Digivolution. The fact that neither of these were added into the reference book as their own Digimon is insane to me. In a world where Gallantmon and Chaos Gallantmon are separate Digimon, Imperialdramon Fighter Mode and Imperialdramon Fighter Mode Black are different Digimon, it's insane to me that White Alphamon and Black Magnamon are both not considered their own variants and also have never been seen outside of Digimon Eirias. Now again, time after time is a cruel mistress, my stand that when I talk about something it seems to happen. So I do think there is a slim chance the stuff from this video is more likely to be seen again in comparison to my top 10 Digimon that will never be seen again, but given we currently have no Digimon mobile game, and because of my next pick, I feel like maybe they are lost to time. And that's because my next pick is the Mutant Digimon from Digimon Lynx. These mutant Digimon were mutated by the power of Volcanic Dramon in Digimon Lynx, as Volcanic Dramon is something of a herald of disaster. These mutant Digimon were Shine Greymon, Hercules Kabuterimon, Gaiumon, Sequoiamon, Feliciomon, Leviamon, Dianamon, Beelzemon, Barbamon, Demon, Lilithmon, both Belphamons, and Lucamon Satan mode, and they're all incredible. These ones feel in particular to me the most like fighting game palette swaps. Mutant Lilithmon getting this red dress and wings and the blonde hair. Also, she would look so good alongside Lucamon fall down mode in this variation. I also think it's interesting that the red on the Beelzemon mutant makes it look more like Beelzemon X Antibody, perhaps indicating some kind of lore connection that makes mutant Digimon and X Antibody Digimon similar in some ways. Dianamon and Sequoiamon are interesting, but Golden Gaiumon, Black Hercules Kabuterimon, all of these could be variants in their own right. And yet are just considered a palette swap mutation of their base Digimon. Never given a reference book listing, never given official art. The only official outings for these were in Digimon Lynx, and they only got 3D models, and that's all we've seen to this date. Mutant Digimon have never been referenced since. They weren't in Eirias, they're not in New Century. There's not been a cheeky wink at the camera in Adventure 2020 2020 or Ghost Game, where one of the Digimon, like say Leviamon, briefly turned into the color of its mutant form. Adventure 2020 was definitely the season for that. You saw that in the video me and Proto did, where apparently briefly Seraphimon became Black Seraphimon. In particular, Black Hercules Kabuterimon is a no-brainer to me, seeing as that we have two Atla or Mega Kabuterimon variants already, and Hercules Kabuterimon just has an X antibody. It's maddening to me. Hell, look at how cool this Shine Greymon is. This could definitely be a prevo, or prior step, I guess, to Shine Greymon Ruin Mode. But given that Lynx was shuttered and then replaced with Eirias, which in turn was shuttered and replaced with nothing outside of China, I just don't think we're ever going to see these mutant Digimon again. I think there's been plenty of opportunity. For example, I think all these Digimon on this list, a great opportunity to reference things like mutant Digimon, recolors, variants that don't get their own reference book listing, would have been in the card game with alt art. Imagine, for example, the BT3 Lilithmon card. If her alt art, in addition to the one that she already had, which was cool, also was the same pose, but in the coloration of mutant Lilithmon, that would be so sick. Gaiomon has cards too. His golden variant would look incredible. Shine Greymon is running a lot in the meta, especially with Ruin Mode right now. So giving the level 6 Shine Greymon the mutant variant as an alt art, oh man, so much potential. And the fact they haven't yet, to me, indicates that probably at Bandai Namco and Toei even, they're not thinking about these mutant Digimon, and while they may remember them one day, maybe thanks to my silly old videos, I doubt it. I would say we are safer to bet on never seeing them again than seeing them again. And while we're talking about fun little golden variants, Gardramon. This is so strange to me, but back in the days of Digimon World 1 and the digital card battle, there was this alternate design for Gardramon, with a card depicting an appearance much different to one we've ever seen. And this is an era of Digimon that I really enjoyed, where sometimes things were very off-model and kind of never addressed again. For example, the Digimon World Cherrymon, which is just nightmare fuel. But I love this Gardramon variant. To me, this could be the Gardramon that digivolves specifically from Solarmon. It has a much more modern and sleek design to me, the silver really popping out, and the fact this is just never addressed and has never been seen since is kind of wild to me. Would have been a no-brainer to me to include in something like, again, Digimon Adventure 2020, where we had the different variations of Commandomon. They didn't need to be their own Digimon either, because their helmets were just different, so I would actually be happy if this variant didn't get its own reference book listing, but it was made clear that Gardramon can appear in different forms. Gardramon's a robot, you know? It would make sense to me that different data, different pieces of metal would contribute to a slightly different aesthetic on each Gardramon. I also think this Gardramon does actually transition quite nicely from Hagurumon and into Andromon, again having more of those silver metallic parts. So strange to me we've never seen this guy again. Then is one that I discovered while researching this video that I was not aware of at all, and I actually can't find a ton of documentation on, so excuse me for the slightly sparse entry here, but that is what is apparently the original design for Zeke Greymon. Originally, rather than the golden Digimon, much more resembling its constituent part, that being specifically the 2010 Metal Greymon, but also the male Birdramon that Kiriha is partnered with. We see this in promotional artwork, and it's kind of insane, with very finalized designs for Digimon like Shoutmon Cross 4, but a much more blended design for what appears to be Dorbikmon Darkness mode. I might be wrong on that form might exist in the show too. I'm really bad at Digicross, they make my mind melt. Now obviously the reason we're not going to see this again is because it was a prototype, but it does stand out as a really interesting idea for a variant of Zeke Greymon, and one that again, especially in things like the Crossloader toy, which had a ton of recolors, like Shoutmon getting blue and yellow variants, Metal Garurumon getting a red variant that we've absolutely never seen again, but at least are considered their own variants. We definitely could have seen this Deca Greymon colored variant of Zeke Greymon again, and we just never have. I weirdly, earlier this year, would have thought it'd be more likely. When Blue Flare and Cross Heart became archetypes in the card game, much like they introduced the Greymon X antibody just for the card game, they maybe could have introduced this variation of Zeke Greymon too, but they didn't. And so I think maybe the opportunity is lost, and I don't really see much Digimon Cross Wars love in the future aside from in the card game, maybe in the V-Pet, especially the Vital Bracelet almost definitely. So yeah, this variation of Zeke Greymon is lost to time, I fear. Then we've got the VR Digimon. And these ones are the only ones on the list I would say I'm actually actively not mad about losing. These were from Digimon Brave Tamer, and I don't know if we should even really consider these to be variants. I certainly don't. Basically, the VR Digimon are boss Digimon that can be fought in Digimon Tamer's Brave Tamer, where dark versions of Taichi, Daisuke, and Takato control them. There's VR Apocally, VR B-War Grey, VR C Duke, VR Imperial, VR Omega, VR Saint Galgo, VR Sequoia, VR Venom, and VR VR War Grey. The main thing that sets these apart is their slightly blue hue and sometimes red eyes, and that they are all virus attributes, which is not always true of the non-VR Digimon, but is true of some of them. The long and short of why we'll never see these again is because we haven't seen these again, and there's not really much point to them. I feel like every time like a new type of dark Digimon comes along, whether it be VR, Chaos, Mutant, Spirals, whatever it may be, each video game, each developer is trying to come up with a new and interesting way of doing darker Digimon, of creating enemy Digimon that stand out from the existing ones but are still familiar. And given that Digimon Tamer's Brave Tamer was a Japanese exclusive on the WonderSwan that came out 22 years ago now, and we've never seen the VR Digimon since, I think Bandai may have at least forgotten about them, or at worst just decided they're never coming back. Not that something being Japanese exclusive has ever stopped Bandai from releasing it in the West, though. We got Dimensional Phase, an entire set about a game that never released in English. Officially, though, there's a really good fan translation. So, you know, I guess 0.5% hope we'll see the VR Digimon again someday. Maybe in the next Digimon story game there'll be Metal Gear Solid-esque VR missions, but I wouldn't hold your breath. Indeed, Digimon Adventure PSP had very similar VR missions, and they just used regular Digimon, so that kind of implies that we won't see the VR Digimon again. This is definitely a mess of a top 10 list. I definitely talked about more than 10 Digimon already. We're going to talk about 3 final ones that I am almost certain we're never going to see again, and also one that I don't really see the point in coming back. The first one is a recolor of Jesmon from Digimon Eirias to make him all red, give him black wings. I think it's a very cool design, almost an inversion of the regular Jesmon design, and reminiscent to me of Jesmon X and Jesmon GX, but that's kind of where the rub lies. We already have 3 Jesmon: Jesmon X, and Jesmon GX. This random Eirias anniversary version, while cool, I don't know if it has a place in the franchise. Jesmon Crimson mode, I suppose. So while I don't think this is a travesty, what is a travesty are our final 2 Digimon variants we'll never see again: the Anniversary War Greymon and Metal Garurumon. These were insanely cool variants of War Greymon and Metal Garurumon for the story climax anniversary version of Eirias, aka the end of Eirias. Basically, it was the last, or at least one of the very last things we ever saw in Eirias. And these recolors are so special because to me they definitely evoke Victory Greymon and Zeed Garurumon, the story climax Metal Garurumon in particular feeling incredibly close to Zeed. And in a world where we have a ton of War Greymon and Metal Garurumon variants, X-antibodies, etc., these not getting to be their own Digimon is a crime. I propose the names Victory War Greymon and Zeed Metal Garurumon just to really amp up the stupidity, but the fact we were given these almost as like a, well, Eirias is closing, but enjoy these, I guess. This idea is so tantalizing to have these video game exclusive variants of these Digimon, only to have them taken away from us and never referenced again. Now sure, they're recent, so there's a chance, and Eirias is still getting reference, which is nice, but I just have this feeling that they're lost to time too. Though maybe in the future, when I'm old and grey, Bandai Namco will remember them. There's also this sick golden Omnimon with the red and blue heads of War Greymon and Metal Garurumon. Absolutely sick. Kind of hilarious that these Victory Greymon and Zeed Garurumon colored versions of them got their own Omnimon before Zeed and Victory actually got their own Omnimon. Salt in the wound, Bandai Namco. Where is my official Zeed and Victory Omnimon? Give it to me now. But anyway, that is 10, actually way more than 10 variant Digimon that I am certain we'll never see again. Though, you know, maybe one day they'll get it to the reference book and treat it as their own Digimon. I'm really gunning for Black Magnamon. This video was also, as I said in the intro, sponsored by Whatnot. If you're not following me on Whatnot by now, you are crazy. We have tons of fun there opening Digimon card boxes, and I also sell the pulls that I don't need. I always sell them for much lower than they're going for on other websites, and do a bunch of giveaways, including my 1,000 follower giveaway, which was a huge bunch of goodies for Digimon fans. In addition to this, when you sign up for Whatnot with my invite link, they'll give you £10 if you're in the UK or $15 if you're in the US, free Whatnot credit. And when you spend that credit, either on my stuff or on stuff from other people's Whatnot streams, I get a direct kickback, making more videos and streams possible. So I really do recommend you check out Whatnot. They've really successfully hybridized the live streaming and shopping platforms into something truly enjoyable. And like I say, have integrated giveaways too, making it a breeze for me to give Digimon stuff to Digimon fans like you. And in addition to that, I'll be running things like free shipping and coupons to make it an absolute bargain for you. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to my sovereigns, ZDK14 and Jmon, as well as all the other channel members you can see on screen right now, for supporting this channel with their hard-earned money. Hope you enjoyed this one. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time when we go digital. Bye-bye.